Hello, everybody. Welcome to a slightly different episode of the Spirits Club because I'm going to review something that, while I've had a lot of it in my lifetime, I've never reviewed this category of spirits, which is kind of a wonder because there is a lot of it out there, and there's really no reason not to. I just don't drink it as much as I used to. So what do we have? I've got a selection of tools, of deadly objects
I'm afraid.
to deal with this, so you might know what it is now. But I'm going to review some wine tonight, specifically the Robert Mondavi Private Selection Rum Barrel Aged Merlot. It's a California red wine, and it is from 2021.
And it looks delicious.
Select lots aged in rum barrels. I've had things by this winery before, by this Mondavi fella, and I've enjoyed it. If I drink wine generally, I prefer like a Shiraz, which is kind of less on the sweetness scale. I like some dark Cabernets. I don't like light wine. I don't like pinks. I don't like white wine. I'm not into those kind of things. I'm into darker, heavier wines generally. Technically, this is her bottle of wine,
Yes.
by the way. But she made the suggestion that, hey, why don't we review it? And I realized I have never reviewed a bottle of wine on the channel. The closest I got to was the mead, the honey wine from McAlpine Meadery. So,
Well, see, I didn't suggest it. I asked if you were going to do it to gauge how much of the bottle I could drink and how much I had to save for you to do the video.
I'll take my one little Glencairn, probably not even the whole thing, and she can have as much of it as she wants.
I'm not going to drink the whole bottle in one go. Don't start those kind of rumors.
All right, let's. This part on your scissors, what's that for, you may ask? It's for getting this off, right?
Watch out, cat.
See? We also do kitchen gadgets. It's not a gadget, it's just on your scissors. You probably have them on your kitchen scissors. It cuts through that label mostly well enough.
Those are the old scissors. They're like 16 years old.
Yeah.
They still work.
I've made a bit of a mess out of it anyway, but it's falling apart into bits of gold leaf. I don't think it's actual gold leaf. I think it's just gold colored.
Okay.
There we go. All right. Got that off. Cork is setting there real nice. No air's gotten in.
Does it look like a natural or synthetic?
This is a natural cork by the appearance of it. Now this corkscrew is a bit more complicated than some that we've had in the past.
This is my favorite one, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you get everything tightened down, you flip the handle.
Mm-hmm.
No, and then you unscrew it. Like you screw and see it pushes them
There
down.
we go. Yeah. I've been doing this wrong forever with this one. I've just been brute forcing it.
No,
because usually I'm used to the ones that have the little wings that you.
That's why it flips the handle down, because then it extracts the cork and you're less likely to get cork bits in it.
Well, that was much simpler. There was no cork pop though.
No.
Ooh,
But-
smells fruity. Nice and fruity.
There's writing on the cork.
As there tends to be.
I love a good cork writing.
This is from Mr. Robert Mondavi, if he's a real person. He says, quote, "Living a fine life is an art form." How nicely pretentious of him.
There are many forms of art.
I'm going to set that aside. You guys hold that for me, would you? It does smell really nice. It smells very nice. Nice fruit smell there. Deep, dark fruits.
It smells like a Merlot.
I am interested. So, I'm going to pour a little bit for myself for the tasting. And then after that, she can do whatever she wants with this.
I'm going to pour a lot of it for the drinking.
Just gonna get up to just under the Bucclati logo there. It's a nice dark color, very dark purple. It's not a reddish color. It's definitely a purplish. Little bit of redness in there as you swirl it, but mostly pretty purple.
Oh, it smells nice once it opens up and it's been poured.
I'm gonna set this down a minute.
I'll go get the wine saver.
That's a good idea. We have these little fillers that you can put in.
They're not corks.
No, they're not a cork, but they're like a little.
They're an imitation cork.
They'll fill it in so you don't have to worry about if you're in an area that's got.
It keeps it fresh.
Yeah, we're in an area where Ohio gets in the heat like it is. You get flies in the summer, in the spring and summer, and they will get into anything that you have lying open. So you never leave your alcohol lying open because they'll get into it. One single fly in your house is enough.
I got my favorite one. You have to show them. It's fancy.
This is, of course, Van Gogh.
Yes, almond blossoms.
And you see, it'll adjust to whatever size bottle you got. Super easy. Just put it in.
This is not an infomercial, by the way, but it's really nice.
Yeah, I don't even remember how much these cost. So, I couldn't tell you.
It was like, we have a 3-pack. It came in a 3-pack, all with Van Gogh paintings, which are my favorite, for like $6.
And you can undo it to let it aerate.
I didn't know it.
Or you can just close it all up for security purposes, of course.
Yeah, it keeps it fresh in the fridge. And it's pretty.
This bottle was on sale for $12.99.
Ooh.
Which is a pretty good price, I would think. The regular selling price of this at my local grocery store is $19.99. Now, a thing about wine is inherently overpriced. Almost all of it is inherently overpriced because of the name of the vineyard, where it's coming from, a lot of different things. A lot of wine, while yes, it's a big industry and it's not, I can't make wine, but it can be a lot cheaper to produce than it is once it gets in this bottle for you to get it at the store.
A lot of times it has to be aged, though, and the grapes have to be very specific.
So that stuff goes into play, and a lot of times it's also presentation and different things like that. So, but generally, if you get a wine that's not like $50, $60 a bottle, that's okay. It's not necessarily going to taste worse than those bottles. Sometimes those bottles are just fancy names, and the wine inside is not that good.
Mm-hmm.
But and then the thing about the age too, you don't necessarily want something that's super, super, super aged because you don't want it to be vinegary. Mm-hmm. Unless you like vinegar and you just want to drink vinegar all day, then that's fine with you. But you want something within a few years. If you're a connoisseur, like we used to do this all the time, get a new bottle of wine and do like the cheese plates and all kinds of stuff. We got really into it.
I like a lot of different kinds of wine.
We have a huge collection of empty bottles still.
The fancy ones. I keep the pretty box.
We've gotten rid of a bunch, but we still have a ton because we were really into it. And since this is a 2021, that's within about 4 years, and usually within 4 to 7 years, I think is a nice range of things, in my personal opinion, for what I like. Once you get outside that, or you get to something that's really new, the new ones tend to be really sweet,
and they're more like juice. They're more like juice.
And there's no I don't think there's a statement on how much alcohol this is either, because
it should be at the bottom somewhere. I think you have to have it somewhere.
Oh, here we go. Alcohol 14.5%. So that's 29 proof. It's 29 proof, so it's not. Wine isn't generally supposed to be high proof particularly. It's a part of the process. So now that we've gone through all of that, we can set that bottle down. Another thing about wine, which this little talk conveniently let me do, is you want to let it sit for a minute or two. Let the air get there. Let it kind of just open up to the atmosphere a little bit. You don't want to just take it straight out of the bottle for whatever reason. I don't know if we've ever done any actual comparisons between. We usually just drink it once we've opened the bottle. No big deal. But
dinner, it sits. It
it's good to have it kind of sit and aerate a little bit, not to sound pretentious and like, oh yes, you must aerate your wine. It's just, it's good for
the
what it
tannins
does.
and everything. It breaks it up.
It's been corked in there for a while. It's good to let it get out. So we've had a chance to do that. We've said a lot of stuff. Now we're going to do one last sniff of it. Ooh, very nice. A nice earthy kind of feel to it.
Very sweet smelling though.
Yeah, it's going to be sweet. Merlots just do tend to be a little bit sweet for me. Some of the Cabernets do too. That's why I like Shiraz, because Shiraz is a bit drier. It's a little more sour. Not that I like sour things, but it evens out the sweetness. So we're going to go ahead and taste this now.
Gotcha.
It's a very dry wine.
I like that.
Because when they say it's a dry wine versus like a dessert wine versus a whatever, a dry wine generally, it affects your saliva glands and your taste buds and feels like it's kind of drying things out a little bit. It dries out the palate a little, and it mixes well with foods that are richer in moisture as a counterbalance. Because the whole thing about wine generally is to pair it with things. Although I don't see any problem with just drinking it as it is.
I do both.
It's not too sweet. It smells sweeter than it is.
I don't get a whole lot of the rum effect, though. Do you? I'll try another sip, but it doesn't overtly say, hey, this has been aged in rum barrels.
I do get a little bit of the age in there, and I'm getting a savory kind of feeling now, almost. It's an interesting after effect that's giving me. The fruits are very understated for being made out of fruit. Let's do another one and see what it tastes like on the second one. It's a bit more sour the second time now that the taste buds have changed and the palate has changed.
Not as sweet at all. I wouldn't call it a sweet wine.
This reminds me of a Shiraz, to be honest. It's not as heavy. Shiraz is also kind of not syrupy, but it is almost a thicker feeling to it. It's like the difference between a lighter beer and a porter. A porter is definitely a thicker beer. It doesn't necessarily have to be thicker as far as viscosity, but it does give you that feeling. This is kind of like that. It's closer to a Shiraz than a traditional Merlot, and that could be the effect of the rum barrel. I am getting just a tiny hint of the kind of tropical sort of sensation you get from things aged in rum barrels. But it's barely there.
And see, I don't taste any vanilla. I don't taste any fruit. I don't taste any kind of like warm, I don't know, rummy things. And I like rum, so I'm looking for the rum. But it's not bad. If you said, hey, does this taste like it's been aged in rum barrels? I would say, oh, no, really, it tastes like it's aged in wine barrels.
This makes me want a cheeseburger, to be fair. A big cheeseburger. It's a weird thing to want with a glass of wine, but that's what the other taste buds are now being like, this is what we want to have with this. I don't have any cheeseburgers, so I can't do that. But that's what I would almost pair this with.
That's really weird.
Mm-hmm. It's just a weird connection between what's my taste buds are saying to what my brain is thinking about. And as it sits and settles back here, cheeseburger. Like, it doesn't taste like cheeseburger, in case anybody wonders.
Goodness, no.
It doesn't taste like that, but it's making my taste buds want a cheeseburger because it's giving them the impression that in essence would match this perfectly. So Very interesting. Decent stuff though. It's not. I'm glad it's not as sweet as a traditional Merlot. Um, I'm glad it's closer to what I would enjoy in a Shiraz than traditional Merlot. But it's not as dramatic as I thought it was going to be either. When I saw the rum cask, I had to wonder, well, just how long did they put it in the rum cask? Because that's the other thing about wine. It's a 2021, but you don't know exactly when it was put down because a lot of that with wines is they don't really tell you because that's part of their trade secrets, how long that they keep it in, how long they age it for. Um, so I'm interested to know how long approximately it was in the rum barrels and what it might have been in before that. Because I think the rum barrel was the last part of the aging process.
I feel like the original barrels may have been oak. It doesn't taste like it's been in a cherry cask.
Probably standard oak barrels because that's what a lot of this kind of wine would be in.
But I think if it were aged in the rum barrels, it was in there for like a week. Because I am not as sophisticated of a palate as some people.
It might have been a few months, but I don't think it was a few years. I don't think it was longer than maybe 6 months or so. I think they put it in there just enough to give it some kind of character and maybe take some of the sweetness off.
But rum should add sweetness. Rum itself is a sugar-based
You
beverage.
would think so, but I think it kind of pulled it out, honestly. I think it's hard to say what happened because it's all chemical reactions and things. So, but I'm glad I tried it. I am glad I tried it. And for the price, it's not bad. It's something that if I was still a big wine drinker, I'd be pretty pleased with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not bad at all. I would drink it again.
Mm-hmm.
I will drink it again. I've got a whole bottle.
Yeah. So, there we go. Let me show off the bottle again. This topper, of course, does not come with the bottle. You can get those separately somewhere. I don't know if we bought those at a store or if we ordered them from Amazon. We might have probably from Amazon. That's not an endorsement or a sponsorship from Amazon. It's just a matter of fact. That's where we got it from. The Robert Mondavi Private Selection Rum Barrel Aged Merlot. It's a California Red from 2021. And this vineyard has several different things at the grocery store. They make a lot of different wines. This stuff comes and goes too. You might see this if you go up, or you might not. Wine is not always consistent unless it's a really specific mass-produced wine, because the way that the seasons might affect the crop, the way that the time it takes to bottle everything, unless they have a climate-controlled building where they grow the grapes and everything like that, which is not too common. It does happen, but it's not common in wine. Then a lot of times these things come and go. That's why a 2021 of this might taste completely different from a 2022 of this.
Mm-hmm.
So while I can give you all everything I like about this, it's going to be unpredictable what you find if you go to the store and find this exact same bottle. You never know. But it was $12.99. It's generally $19.99. I would get it on sale just because, why not? Everything's expensive anymore. And it's worth the buy, in my opinion, at $12.
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoyed it. If you find it, I hope you enjoy it. And maybe we'll do a few more wines on the channel here and there to spice things up a little bit. And that's it. So until next time, of course, as always, cheers.